Okay, so we can start if you like.
Very good. Welcome everyone to this session on how to use PowerPoint as an authoring tool, for example, SCORM, presented by Guido Hornig, who is joining us. This is a sponsor session, and I'll let him say more about the different companies that he works with. But just want to thank you for taking the time to share with us, more creative ways of making use of tools to make Moodling more effective, more efficient. And so welcome. Thank you. I'll turn the mic over to you.
Thank you very much, Anthony. Yeah, thank you for coming to this presentation. I have a question. Maybe you can type a short answer in the chat. Are you using PowerPoint for creating e-learning content? Okay, thank you. Thank you very much. I'm working for a small number of companies and create content, but I mainly help them to set up the software, for example, Moodle. And yeah, I do this for 5 years now for other companies. Before, I was using Moodle in my own training company. I was looking for a solution to support about 40 freelancers traveling around doing trainings and help them to give each other feedback about their work and get feedback from others. And I left this company. It's still working, but without me, they still use Moodle. And sometimes I help, but I also have a handful of mid-sized companies who use Moodle, and all these companies, they produce tons of PowerPoint every day. And when I was an engineer and I was employed in a company, I had to produce my PowerPoint slides. And yeah, I was never really happy with it. Maybe to get some more bandwidth for the other things, I shut down the webcam. It's not so important. I want to share something I do with PowerPoint. And if you use PowerPoint, then you also need some tool to put this PowerPoint into the web. You can, of course, you can upload a presentation and someone can download the presentation, use the original PowerPoint software to render it, to visualize it. But there are much simpler possibilities for the end user. All mobile devices can use HTML5 and PowerPoint cannot, but there are some tools that convert PowerPoint into HTML5, and so you are able to use PowerPoint on any mobile device, tablets and phones, and also in browsers which are not able to display, for example, Flash. Ellen wrote already that she's using PowerPoint in combination with Articulate. And one of the great tools out there in the market is Articulate to convert a PowerPoint slide into HTML5 and Flash. But some people feel it's really expensive. And I was in the position that I had to prepare content for Moodle, and I had no idea how to do this in a reliable way, which also can be used not only with this version of Moodle, but also maybe in other systems. At that point, it was not clear if the company will stay with Moodle or change to SharePoint or whatever. So I recommended them to create SCORM modules, because then it's more mobile and they do not stick with one learning management system. In the moment, the SharePoint project is stopped and the other LMS project is stopped, and Moodle is still continuing now with a new version. So I'm pretty sure Moodle convinced everybody, but we still have PowerPoints every day and people want them to be online together with VoiceOver. I was searching for a tool and I saw iSpring and I tried it and it was really simple. I'm not sure if you want to know more about iSpring or about the PowerPoint tricks. You have the choice to where I should start with. So maybe who wants me to show the PowerPoint functionality I use to add some value to the PowerPoint? You can just type in the chat PowerPoint or PPT, or if you want to see more about iSpring, you can vote for iSpring. It's just the order where to start. I will show both. Okay, so there are some people interested in the PowerPoint. And I prepared some functionality demo here, and I will try to use the screen sharing. I'm not sure if you can see screen sharing now. And you should see my PowerPoint right now. If you open the screen sharing, is that yes, you see it. Okay. So when I will not explain PowerPoint standard functionality. I think you can see this everywhere. But what I want to show is if sometimes you have some text there and you want to give the opportunity to have some more detailed information. So maybe this is the standard information. And then I could add a button where you can say you want more information. Just preparing a small button here. This is all normal PowerPoint. Oops. Okay, and now I want to use this as a trigger to show more information. And I again use some text block here. And so and now we have already a lot of things on the screen and it becomes a little messy. And I think one function not so many people know is that you can see a list of elements, and this shows the list of elements on your slide. So this function can be found here in Arrange and Selection pane. And because I use it very often, I have put it into the very fast menu here. Okay, now I can rename this. It's just for me. The user will not see it. This is my normal text. And the other one is my pop-up text. And this will become the button. Okay, now I need any questions until here? I need animations. I have a question. Who saw this list with the selection pane the first time? Okay, thank you. But it's standard PowerPoint. And I was very happy when I found it, because sometimes I have so many elements and I couldn't see the other elements. And it's really very useful because you can switch off all these elements or switch them on. So it gets more clear where you have your things here. Okay, I will continue with animation. And the first thing I always do is open the animation pane. And I want this pop-up text to fade in, but not just by chance. I want to fade in this when the orange button is pressed. So I add a trigger. So this is selected. The animation of the big blue box here is selected. Then I add a trigger, and the animation should start when someone clicks the button. Okay, and it should not, the animation itself should not need another click, or is not reliable for the, does not rely on the click. It just goes with the previous thing. Okay, and to test this, I can use the slideshow. I press slideshow from current slide. Here's my presentation, or my slide. It's not a presentation. And if I press the more info, I get my pop-up. But how to get rid of this pop-up now? If I click again, it will immediately switch to the next slide. So I have to do something to remove it. Okay, that's another animation. The fade out animation. I click on the blue box and on animation. Oops, here's my animation pane. And now it's important not to select other animation here, because this will only change the first animation. I want to add another animation, so it's very important that you use this animation button with the plus. Okay, and what we want to add is a fade out, for example, or we can also use a zoom in to reduce it. Just make it simple, fade. And this fade out should be triggered when you click on itself. So I add a trigger. That's the pop-up itself. And we lost the other one because I played around with the animation selection menu. I just have to do this again. When I click on the button, it will show up. And if I click on the box itself, it hides. And now it's not on click, it's with the previous. And something else, the 0.5 seconds, I think it's always very long. So it looks much faster and not so much PowerPoint if you change the timing. Okay, now check again with slideshow. And I believe these animations will not look very good through big blue button. Oops. Again. Sorry. I forgot something. Oh. Yes, I forgot something. Trigger, animation pane. What happened? Okay, so I did something wrong. It's the order of triggers. Yeah, you're right. Try again. Okay, because in a presentation I'm too nervous. Maybe I just open the one prepared and show it to you. All these examples are also in the course for download if you like. Oops. And let's show. No. Now the pop-up, the presentation opens in somewhere else. Okay. Bob tried to help me. Reorder, bigger, reorder. Do you mean like this? And okay. But if I add some trigger now, it will go down again. Yes. Try to do this. What is it? Ah, now. Okay. Whew. And everybody's looking. Okay. I try the slideshow again. Yeah. So big applause to Bob. Okay. And again, this one goes away. With those animations and triggers, you can also create simple questions. For example, this is one. And yeah, if I say no, I get one feedback. Then I can reset this question. I can say yes. And I get some animation, some maybe you can call it gamification. little bit of Super Mario, and you can go to the next question. And I had not so many ideas, just to show that you can reuse the same slide again and again or modify it. Yeah, that was the first part with some functions of PowerPoint you maybe didn't know, and is to use the selection pane to have more control what you see on your slide and what not. And the next thing is that, yeah, how to bring this into the internet. And Ellen already wrote that it's maybe dangerous because the triggers won't go into the SCORM module. I had no trouble with iSpring until now. And if you have time, you can test the iSpring examples I uploaded. But I will also show you some. And yeah, I think so that everybody can understand what iSpring is, I would like to show you some slides. And about slides and presentations. PowerPoint, I think, is the most hated Office program. It's Access, nobody knows really. Excel, it can calculate better than we can. Word, yeah, nothing against Word because everybody can write text now. But PowerPoint, it's on the dark side because we all have slept in PowerPoint presentations and we got embarrassed by text deserts in PowerPoint. And here comes my bad presentation. I also added a link. I added a link to a nice TED video, and you should have a look at. He gives 5 good tips for PowerPoint presentation and what not to do. Yeah, e-learning tools that are fun to work with. For me, iSpring and Moodle is fun. PowerPoint sometimes. About iSpring, it's a software company based in USA, but they also have a lot of people working in Russia. And yes, this is also one thing why I like them, because it's against the international development of new Cold War. They have to work together, and you always get the fresh news from Russia and from US when you work together with them. It's nice. They have lots of big customers. Sorry, this was really fast. But I don't want to elaborate on iSpring so much, not on the company, more on the project and the product. The scope of using iSpring is, of course, education. But if there is a license in the company, you can also use it for marketing and other commercials on the website. So it really is a flexible tool. Lots of customers around the world. And when I got this presentation, they forgot New Zealand. So I added New Zealand here, and they have over 100 licenses in New Zealand. Who uses iSpring? Professional content developers, training managers, training consultants, teachers, professors, HR specialists. And here you can see what happens to PowerPoint if you install iSpring Suite. You get a new ribbon, and this allows you to preview what you did, publish. There's a presentation explorer. The explorer can help you to do things which you can do in Moodle with the lecture. No, what is it? Lexion? With der Lektion, the English word. And you can also add resources to your slide, like links to the web. You can add presenters, photos, and contact information, and you can export the whole. Here with export, you get a zip file with everything inside. You can record audio, video, and you can manage the narration. You can add other elements like quizzes, nice interactions, flash movies, other web objects, and there's growing help functionality. The publishing, you can use it to publish to an LMS, but you can also publish Flash or HTML for web publishing. Just a folder with the files, no SCORM, XML. And the newest version, 7.1, can also do what Camtasia does, or parts of it. You can export to a YouTube video directly to YouTube, but it's much faster because it creates less data for my impression. I don't use it much because I try to substitute videos with iSpring presentations. If you create a 5-minute YouTube video from your PowerPoint, it can be 100 or 200 megabyte, and you have to wait for 200 megabyte to upload, and you have to wait for conversion of 200 megabyte. But if you use the iSpring module in HTML5, it's maybe only 15 to 20 megabyte. And if you, I always have to upload twice or 3 times because I find lots of mistakes, or I want to change tiny things because I want to have a perfect presentation. And so I don't like to upload YouTube videos 3 times because this really destroys your evening. But if you upload 15 to 20 megabytes to Moodle again, this will work for me. So video is not always a solution for me, but of course, sometimes when you have real video, there's no other choice, but you could also add some YouTube video to an iSpring presentation. You gave me so many comments. Maybe I should answer some of the questions. Okay. So Paula said, in the past you used the free version of iSpring and the animations didn't work well. Yes, the version 5 and 6 was not so good in conversion. With the version 7, I have very good experience. Today I tried the new free version, and there's also still the free version of iSpring and iSpring Suite, including the question generator. I'm not really convinced. When you know the full product, the free version looks a little bit restricted, but it works. And I think it has the same conversion engine. Presentation, then the next one, Bob says, great resource to improve your slides by presentation Zen. Yes. I also found a block out of the slide, thinking out of the slide, which was really good. Steve said you found that importing PowerPoint into Captivate for SCORM publishing does preserve the animation, but you can't modify them in Captivate. It's almost better to do your animations in Captivate if you're using that tool. I have no experience with Captivate. What I can say is with iSpring, you work in PowerPoint. That's your tool, and there is not so much difference with the animation, and they work. With Camtasia, you can keep the animations, yes, but you also need more bandwidth also for streaming them to the client. Yeah, 4 copies of Camtasia. You're right. If you can do everything with Camtasia, perfect. I have not so good experience to add questions inside of the presentation. And because you always create this monolithic video and no HTML5, but maybe you can teach me better. Question to Bob, is it possible to add questions in Camtasia? I think it does a flash output. So you need to contract with the Camtasia screencast. There's a plugin for Moodle because I use this to create one for JW platform. Yeah, but other thing. Okay, what kind of possibilities to create tests, quizzes are better in iSpring than in Moodle itself? No, I'm a fan of Tim, and I think the best quizzes are in Moodle. But if you just want to ask one question inside of the presentation, and I think that's perfect with iSpring. And you get the results into your Moodle. The audio file itself cannot be edited with iSpring. Alan is asking this. There's no audio editing. I use Audacity if I really want to edit the audio, but the audio can be synchronized animation. And I think this is one of the best things in iSpring. Do iSpring or Camtasia provide closed captioning? I need a translation. What is closed captioning? My English stops here. And somebody write a different word for closed captioning. Okay. Yes, Camtasia has some captioning. And in iSpring, you have to do it with PowerPoint. Yeah, Articulate can edit audio. So for the audio editor in Articulate, you pay a lot, I think. Okay, our questions are satisfied. So I have some more time to continue with the presentation. Yeah, SCORM, perfect integration with Moodle. You can, with YouTube, you cannot measure how many slides your participants really have seen inside, but with the SCORM module, you can exactly measure how many slides they have had on their screen. And if you add some questions inside, you really get different results than just with a video. There are 23 types of questions. This is a marketing number. There are 11 types of questions for quizzes, and there are 12 types of questions for the survey, but some of them are really nice. You can push around words, or the sort order is very good, and it really works on mobiles as well. It has a visual editor. It's a lot easier than in Moodle. And the preview option is very good, and you can cut and paste things from PowerPoint into the quiz editor. And with iSpring Suite, there are new interactions introduced. It's a very sexy looking book where the pages look like real pages. Then there is a directory. It's similar to the glossar in Moodle. Then there is a timeline, good for history, but also good for explaining processes. And the frequently asked question template. All this can help you dramatically to create content very fast. You cannot change so many things like you can change in Articulate, but you have a tool for really fast development. Less decisions, more output. Yes, and the characters are very nice. So when you can use a number of characters from different areas of a company or of professional life, like doctors, construction, builders, office men and women, and they are photographing a number of emotions and poses. So you can add a happy-looking person for the right answer, and a worried-looking person for the wrong answer, for example, in the question in the quizzes. And this also speeds up development because such a character inside of the course, it adds some emotional value for me. Then you can add audio, voiceover, but you can also adding video, presenter video, and the user can select if you want to see the video here or the presentation here. So you can switch during the during playing the iSpring presentation. You can switch between the both layouts, and there are other layouts, left and right, and you always have the outline of PowerPoint available. This is the outline of showing here. You also can have a layout without the outline, but it's very helpful. You don't have to create a course overview by yourself. It's already there. And this outline can be part of the player, but it can also be a pull-down menu here in the upper space. The player itself, the next and previous, and this can be modified, but it cannot be changed dramatically. You have to stick with these shapes. You can change the colors. There's some other colors, same layout. And here's the narration editor. You will see your PowerPoint slide. You will see the video. You will see some audio. And you will see small, I think this presentation doesn't show it anymore because the resolution goes away here. But there are tiny points where you can see the animation of your slide, and you can drag them to the correct voice position. And I like this function very much to synchronize the speaker to the animation. The text is showing up and it's reading. Can be boring if you do this for hours, but to transport some messages from the presenter, it's helpful. Yeah, and the adjustable presentation playback can be done in the Presentation Explorer. Here you have the list of all slides, and you can say if this starts automatically or by a mouse click, who is the presenter for this part of the presentation, and you can change the headlines. Maybe you have experienced that sometimes slides don't have headlines because someone has deleted the block with the title, but here you can add titles which are very important for the outline. The outline can be shown with or without thumbnails. Here you can also add branching. The lesson module in Moodle also has some branching. I tried to work with the lesson module, but I spent so much time in bug tracking and repairing things that I gave up the lesson module. Maybe if there's a new release someday, I will try again. And the code is also not very easy to understand for me. So, and iSpring also solved for me the the lesson problem, because all these branches and media can be done here very well. Okay, I said already that mobile devices can also play the iSpring presentations, and there's also there are free apps for iPad and Android, but the pity is they cannot log into Moodle. So if you have protected sites in Moodle, and usually all the sites are protected, then the apps will not work. But you don't need an app, because all the HTML5 browsers will play exactly what you see on your desktop, and there's no difference. Sometimes you want to protect presentations. They can be tied to a specific domain. You can say this can only work until a specific date. You can add passwords and a watermark in the background. And the product comes in 2 versions. iSpring Suite has all the extra features like quizzes, interactions, and characters. And iSpring Pro has also the possibility to add some features, also the narration editor, but no quizzes, no interactions, no characters. Interactions is not the quiz. Interaction was the book and the timeline and so on. Okay, I think we have, again, some comparison between the PowerPoint presentation and the iSpring course. The online viewing is easy with iSpring. Add quizzes inside of the presentation, distinguish an iSpring module very much from a YouTube video. And of course, you get detailed learning statistics. Every answer, every slide can be tracked in the iScorm and in the SCORM data. Yeah, iScorm, new product. Maybe this is kind of summary of the product. It really has a best-in-class PowerPoint effect support, and it can be used for all mobile devices. Think about this, just a survey which can be sent to mobiles. There have been improvements to Moodle lessons. I'm very happy to hear this. I have to look at 2.9. Yeah, multimedia conversion with no quality loss. That's true, but you can also add some quality loss to reduce the amount of data. And yes, I can say they have very friendly phone and email support. It's really fun to work with them. via Skype, for example, they immediately get someone who really knows the product and can help you. And you can buy more service if you need some special support for a specific presentation. They will really make it work for you with the premium support plans. There's one case study which is far away from Moodle, I think, but yeah, Oracle is using it fine. And I found that Manchester University is using it. They have the Moodle site. And I'm not sure that all 35,000 students use Moodle and use the iSpring modules, but the potential is there. Okay. Yes, I think now the sponsored advertising part should stop, and maybe I can show you some more examples here. You requested, Ellen, I think, wanted to see how iSpring works with the triggers and so on. Maybe I can let one from a customer. Oops, load, save. Oh my God. Okay, again, file. Oh, so it's funny how my brain dysfunctions when I'm in a presenter mode. Okay, I want to show this PowerPoint. Okay, and there is it's a little bit complex. Yeah, and I switch off this one, and you can see there's text, and there's also a trigger, and the trigger will pop up such a text box. And I also added some voiceover, so I switched to the narration method. Oh no. Yes. The narration method comes to that screen area. But it's not so easy. It doesn't. Yeah, we can work like this. Okay, we are in the narration manager of iSpring Suite or iSpring Pro. They are exactly the same. And I zoom to the actual slide, and I can see my audio here. Oh, Ellen, the screen share. Can you see it again? I'm sorry, I didn't recognize it. There's a problem. No. Support. Support has gone. Okay. You can in the left, in the right corner, there is a layout, and you can get the default layout back, maybe. Yes, thank you, Steve. That's exactly what I meant. Everybody on screen sharing again? Ellen? I think if Ellen really reloads the browser, she has to go through this audio. Looking, okay. So here's the slide timeline, and these yellow things are the animations. So I see the voice starts here. I can also let it play. I don't know if you can hear it, but there's some voice. And so I can adjust my animation to to the voiceover. I can also move around the voiceover. I can shorten it, but I cannot, and I can change the volume. I can make it louder, but I cannot change more. Yes, so now we go back. I will do a preview of this. It's generating one zip file. Yeah, I have disabled, I have protected this for only iMoot. So we changed the publishing. Whoops, wrong. This is the protection, and I allow now that this can be used everywhere. Publish. I don't know if the audio also went through Big Blue Button. Did someone hear the voice? No. I put it already into the course of in the in the iMoot course. You can check it there. If not, come back to me. But I think I have done it. Now I can click here and see my pop-up box I created in PowerPoint. And when I click on this voice, I again get this text, read it, and I can switch on and off the audio, because this is the only thing that Microsoft does not allow to be converted to HTML5, I think. So you have to add some triggers for switching audio on and off. And go to the next slide. Yeah. This does not need to be the end of my presentation. I think we have still some minutes left for question, or if somebody wants to have some other presentation, please ask. Yeah, and thank you for attending. I was not sure if this fits into the iMoot, but more than 10 people are here, so seems to be. Okay. Thank you. I did not do testing so much. I will upload it again in a minute. Yeah, I would like to see Articulate, and I plan to go to a Articulate community meeting, but then our locomotive engine drivers didn't allow me to go there because they did a strike. Yes, just I also sell these licenses if somebody wants to buy one, but yeah, the right of the sponsor. Yeah. Yeah, I think so. think the iSpring is more for if you are not doing it every day. If you do some of your PowerPoints into the LMS and sometimes maybe on WordPress. There's a comparison chart between both systems on the iSpring page, and it shows exactly which functions are supported. Will I find? No. Yeah, any questions? Thank you for joining here. I think we should stop the recording now.